to you from one of Johannesburg's most poetic suburbs, a social, professional and residential hub for many artists in this city. This is Melville and welcome to the Art Bulletin. The Joburg-based Kilani Mall will celebrate a number of works by female artists with an art and jazz exhibition taking place from the 20th to the 25th of this month. The main exhibitors at this gathering will be the Henry Taylor Gallery.
It's a new concept that they actually got, which I think is wonderful, where you're going to actually get a lot of people come together. You've got your jazz, people playing jazz over there. We have got two other art exhibitions, artists exhibiting there as well. And I wanted to show Kalani the variety of different art that I've actually got available for them to view as well, which is going to be contemporary art and also going into the investment side art as well. I will be taking, I've got a PNF that I'm going to be taking through. I've got Gregoire Bonsai. I have got a small Irma Stern that I want to take through as well.
The female roles in Shakespeare's Othello will take center stage at the Joburg Theatre next week. Having completed 2 successful seasons in Johannesburg, the production is drawing special attention to the women of the story.
Unfortunately, this play is still, I think, one of the most relevant to South Africa. If you think about, for example, Reva Steenkamp being murdered by a boyfriend. We had Anine Boyson being attacked by men. Just today on the news, Sweat was saying that a sex worker had been raped by a police officer, which is very similar to what happens to Bianca in the play. Another young girl, her body was found in her backyard, and the lead suspect is her boyfriend, with whom she was apparently having an abusive relationship. So unfortunately, the themes of the play are sadly relevant to South Africa and current, and I think important for Women's Month.
South African animated 3D movie Adventures in Zambezia has won the award for Best Children's Feature at the 21st Anima Mundi International Animation Festival in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. The film was widely released on Wednesday, hitting up to 400 screens in France.
Last year, Adventures in Zambezia became the first African 3D feature animation to be nominated for the Best Music and Best Voiceover for the Hollywood-based Annie Awards, the most prestigious in the animated movie industry. It was also named Best South African Feature Film at the 2012 Durban International Film Festival and Best Animation at the 2012 African Movie Academy Awards. The film has been sold to over 40 territories, and within 12 weeks of its release in 5 of those territories has sold over 1 million tickets, notably reaching number 2 at the box office in Russia and Germany.
Mozambican-born musician Morara Chonguisa has released his 4th album, which borrows music from his first 2 albums. It might sound like we're talking about a re-release of previous works or a best-of album. Make no mistake, the saxophonist has reworked and remixed the tracks, adding a new layer to his music. According to Morera's website, it's his work with DJs for many years and admiring their mixing skills that led the Cape Town-based musician and producer to rearrange his own songs from his 2 award-winning albums, The Journey and Citizen of the World, aka The Morera Project Volume 1 and 2. The album is co-produced by Emerson Tanaka Mnangagwa from Zimbabwe. While the album maintains jazz as its primary sound, Chonguisa and his co-producer have added house beats to the music, making MP Reloaded his hippiest and trendiest work to date. The album will be launched at the More Jazz series in Maputo, Mozambique next Saturday, where Chonguisa will be performing. Monster Entertainment is yet to announce the SA launch date. Arts magazine Classic Feel is doing its bit to honor women in the month of August. The magazine will profile women in the arts in their Classic Woman supplement, which is set to hit the shelves next month.
We celebrate our artists with features, with interviews, with cover pictures. But the people very often who make it possible are the women behind the scenes. And very often they are women. They are very active. They never get actually the recognition. They might be the head of sponsorship for arts in a corporate, which the banks and a lot of big corporates really put money into the arts and culture. There might be people who are curators in our museums, in our galleries, in auction houses. There are people who promote arts and culture, who mentor arts and culture, and we decided to celebrate these women.
Are you into odd but very beautiful things? Like old trays, trophies and cutlery turned into jewelry? Then Barbara Roosworth's work is a must-see for you. Her work is playful with a vintage feel and is on display at the Artisan Gallery until the 30th of this month.
Barbara has a very fine, very discerning eye for beautiful pattern and detail in the old wares, and she carefully selects those areas and those sections which she can then reuse to make brooches, necklaces, and whatever else she wants. She also is very in touch with nature and often uses old trophies to make planters and so on with beautiful indigenous plants.
Cape Town Opera and UCT's Opera School are taking on Mozart's thrilling Don Juan adaptation, Don Giovanni. The series of concerts will take place at the Baxter Theatre from the 20th to the 24th of this month.
Don Juan adaptation Don Giovanni is directed by Matthew Wilde. Wilde says it is a radically minimalist production that is going to shift the emotions of the characters right to the fore, which might catch people off guard, but in its stripped down form it is also quite modern. He says there was a concerted effort to try and strip down any fluff that might exist around the edges and put the focus squarely on the performers' bodies and the text and Mozart's music. Meanwhile, the opera will be sung in Italian with English subtitles projected above the stage. The show is not suitable for children under the age of 16 because of partial nudity and violence.
On Thursday evening, the Sunday Times Top Brands Awards celebrated the brands, products and services that consumers love, want and use. Their 2013 ceremony took place at the Meslo Hotel in Sandton.
The research planning takes place a good 6 months in advance of the actual awards, which took place this past Thursday. But the field work generally is something that we work on an ongoing basis in terms of compiling the types of categories and the various possible brands that might feature in those lists. And we do try and include all of the brands that consumers and businesses would interact with in each of those categories. Clearly, the top brand in South Africa, by virtue of the fact that they've won the Grand Prix, but that they've also dominated so many categories, is Coca-Cola.
From Joburg's colourful suburb Melville, that's how we come to the end of today's Art Bulletin. Do catch us again next weekend when we bring you arts, culture and lifestyle news. Do feel free to keep in touch with us by emailing us, liking us on Facebook or following us on Twitter. Until next weekend, it's a goodbye from us.